Hello stampers, so I have a fun little project for you today. I'm using the Crane of Fortune stamp set, and I'm going to show you a new technique that I came up with, and it's so fun. I'm going to show you how to put these grasses in when you don't have like a grass image in your stamp set. This is a beautiful set, but I wanted to put it on a little piece of grass. Well, actually a little piece of land with some grass on it. So to do that, I came up with another technique using reinkers and a straw, and it's so much fun. But anyway, this stamp set doesn't have a little grass stamp, so it's perfect for this card. So let's get started on it. Now, just to protect my pad of paper here, I've just got a non-porous craft sheet here that I'm going to be working on. And we're going to start with a basic white panel, and it's 3.5 by 4.5. And we're going to stamp our bird first. I just love this bird. You stamp it in, I stamp it in basic gray, and it does all the shading for you. There's no coloring for this image. It does all the shading and such, that the stamp is just amazing. So I'm just inking it up with basic gray, and I'm going to stamp it here on my panel. Just going to hold it a couple seconds to get good contact, and there's my bird. Now look at all that shading in this stamp. It's just gorgeous, right? So we got that done. So our image is already finished. So now we're just going to create a little background for this bird. So I'm going to take a piece of, I have frog tape here, but you could use masking tape. And I just want to make sure it's long enough to cover, well, it's bigger than the card is that I'm working on. So I'm going to take this tape and I'm just going to stick it to my clothes. I'm going to do this off camera here. But I'm sticking it to my clothing a couple times just to get some of the stickiness to not be so strong, because I don't want to tear my paper when I go to take it off. So I'd advise you do that. And I'm just going to put this like 1/4 inch below its a foot that's like would be down on the ground. Not the one it's holding up. So I put it on there, and the reason I'm using this masking tape, it is non-porous, and so I can put reinker on this and it's not going to soak through to my paper. It may run underneath, but it's not going to soak through, I don't believe. And I'm going to start with a reinker, and this is Pool Party, and the secret to this is to not put very much of this on at a time. So I'm only going to put, just a little strip of it here. And we're going to just work this grassy area just a little bit at a time. And I have like a metal reusable straw. You use whatever straw you have. This is just what I had in my drawer here at the house. And you just want to blow on this at an angle. So I have my straw down, and I'm just going to blow really hard into it. And it starts making grasses. Now I'm going to do this just a couple times. I want my grass to come out a little further here, so I'm going to add some more reinker. So you can do it as many times as you want to do it. Now I like mine to have a couple different tones in it. So Pool Party I'm going to set aside, and I'm going to bring in a little bit of Bermuda Bay. I just want a little contrast here, so I'm going to add a little bit of Bermuda Bay along that strip also. And you can just continue to do this as much as you like until you get the effect that you want. I think I kind of like that there. I might have a little bit more here. And you can blow it out directionally, so I think I want to go out here to the side a little bit. Okay, so there's the grasses that I want. And that's all that's to that. So now I'm going to take this strip off, and just be careful when you're taking it off because your paper is wet. So tear it off slowly, and that's all you needed that sheet for. So now we're ready to put in our scene. So we have our little grasses there, and see how easy that was? And now we're going to put some water in. And I'm going to bring in some, I got Pool Party and a blending brush. And now I'm going to blend back and forth here with this Pool Party. And I'm going to go just a little bit above my grass line here, just so that water doesn't like just cut off at the bottom of the grasses. So there was Pool Party, and then I'm going to bring in a little bit of Pacific Point. I'm going to grab a blue brush and my Pacific Point. And I'm going to just bring this in at the sides here. I'm lifting my brush up as I go. You can do it both sides here. I like adding a little, leaving a little white highlight there going on. So there's the Pacific Point. And then you can lightly blend some of that off on your scrap paper and put some of that Pacific Point in your sky area. Just kind of go around the bird. Here we go. And the white areas just look like clouds. So guess what? That's our finished design there. So now we're ready to put our card together. This is a super simple card. It really goes quickly. I'm just going to add a little bit of highlight before we finish up here in the water. I like a little sparkle, so I have a white chalk marker here. I'm just going to add some lines, some different size lines in the water here, just to give it that water look, right? There's my little white lines. Okay, so now I'm going to switch out my scrap paper. Turn it over here. Try not to get ink on my finished project. So I have a Crumb Cake card base here, and it is 4.25 by 11, so it opens this way. And then inside I have a Coastal Cabana panel that's 4 by 5.25. Then I have on the outside, I use the Symbols of Fortune Designer Series paper. It's stunning. This paper pack, I didn't use some of the ones that have the foil on it, but there's foil papers in there that are just gorgeous. I wanted to use this one with the butterflies and the flowers today. So I cut 2 of these, and they're 2 by 4 each. And then I'm just going to pop this up using Stampin' Dimensionals on my card front. This is a very simple layout. Sometimes you just need a simple card, right? And you could use any of the sentiments that is in that stamp set. Okay, by the magic of video, I have my Stampin' Dimensionals on to pop my main panel up. I'm just going to place it here on my card front. And there we have it all complete. Now, wasn't that easy? And these grasses look great, and they're going to come out differently every time you do it. It just depends on how hard you blow on it, and you can practice like on your scrap paper before you do it. It's just a lot of fun, something different. So here's my original, and here's my one that we just did, and I hope you get inspired to blow some grasses out. That sounds a little strange, but thanks for joining me today. Bye.